Welcome to the Manifesting for the New Year class. This is an extension of the last class that I did probably the end of November, where it was Manifestation Made Easy. We're going to tap into a few things today that's going to make the manifesting a little easier, a little bit more efficient, shall I say, because we're going to really tap into some different understandings of energies, exterior energies, our vibration, our actual abilities to write affirmations the correct way versus writing affirmations in a way that we actually are confusing our subconsciouses, because sometimes we can write affirmations in a sense that the affirmations are giving us confirmation so strongly that we already have what we have, that the subconscious stops bringing to us what we're desiring. So we want to avoid doing that. So we want to make sure we write our affirmations in the correct energy so that we're getting things that we're looking for versus not getting the things that we're looking for because we already think we have it. So again, that kind of fake it till you make it type thing is something that I really don't like, because that's exactly what happens. We fake. So we don't want to fake. We want to be real. We want to be conscious about our manifestations. We want to be able to do it. We want to be able to master our abilities to manifest and know that we're manifesting. We want to manifest consciously. We don't want to manifest haphazardly, okay? Because some things that we do can really create haphazard manifestations. And a lot of times we don't even understand what we're manifesting because we don't know what we know. And that is the key thing about manifestation. We manifest in the state of knowing every second of the day. So we want to teach you how to understand when you're in a state of knowing. We want to teach you how to not just know that, not to just detach, because detachment was a big topic that I talked about last time, but I want to teach you all how to tap into other versions of yourself. I want to teach you all how to tap into other energies, spiritual energies. There's many different types of spiritual energies that you can tap into to help you. So I will teach you how to do those things this evening. We're not going to actually do them because it takes a while. This is just a tutorial course to tell you how to do it. If you want to take it to the next step to learn how to attract or to invoke or to call in spirits, energies, benevolent beings, then let's talk later. It might be a one-on-one class, because this is something you don't learn in an hour class, okay? It took me probably a couple of years before I got into the level of confidence to the point where I would actually invoke the beings, because there's a specific way that you have to do it, and you have to be very careful when you're doing that. So just remember that we're going to be learning, but it's going to be a kind of a tutorial tonight. And if you want to learn more, then we can talk about that, because that just takes a higher level of mastery. So this is kind of what we're going to be talking about tonight, is really tapping into understanding the whole presentation here, just really understanding about manifestation, how to do it, how to call in external beings, how to tap into other versions of ourselves, how to raise our vibration a little bit higher than we did before. I'll be talking to you about some pretty interesting things. If you have any questions, just ask. Feel free, okay? Feel free to ask at any point. Feel free to ask about the presentation. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Now, there's a lot of pages to cover tonight. Now, like I say, this is going to be an extension of the previous class on Manifestation Made Easy, and this is Manifesting for the New Year. So we're going to be working on really setting goals, creating a higher vibration, tapping into multiple versions of yourself, and calling in spirits. Those are kind of the middle topics, and those are going to be the different topics. I'm not going to go deeply into the law of attraction and really understanding manifestation and deep into detachment, because I want to go into really understanding setting the goals for the New Year's. So if you all do want to take some notes, you can take notes. So we're going to really get into this. We're going to get into understanding manifestations. We're going to get into the law of attraction, just understanding it. The law of attraction has a few steps into it, and I was kind of debating whether or not to leave this in or not, because the law of attraction pretty much tells us how to manifest. And a lot of this is what we're going to be going over, which is going to be setting goals, creating a vibration. The things that I'm adding into this presentation expand upon the law of attraction, how to manifest according to the laws of attraction. So just be patient with me as I go through these, because some of them are going to sound like they're going to repeat. However, when we're adding the benevolent beings in, when we're tapping into the higher versions of ourselves, those are all going to be parts of the same steps in the law of attraction. So just bear with me. But I want you all to really start to think about and focus on what you want to bring into this new year. So I'm not going to do a meditation. However, I will be helping you all to understand more about calling in certain energies and then allowing you to tap into different versions of yourself. Those will be something that we will work more so on than the other things. So I want everybody just for a moment to think about what it is that you want to manifest for this new year. Now, I want you all to be very direct and very simple with what you want to bring into this new year, because we're going to talk about some things leaving this year and what the energy has shifted into. So I want everybody to just take a second, maybe 5, 10, 15 seconds. Think about one thing that you want to bring into this year. Think about one thing that will be paramount in shifting your life. What is the one thing? So I just want you to just kind of close your eyes, take some deep breaths, and just allow yourself to see, feel, visualize, and hear what that one thing is that is going to shift you from 2020 to 2021 to bring you everything that you desire, or put you onto the road to bring you everything that you desire. So go ahead, just close your eyes and let's focus on this. And this is an exercise we're going to be doing so that you understand how to tap into your inner being. So let's start right now. Just close your eyes, take some deep breaths, and just think. All right. Now, if you didn't get the one thing that you really should focus on, that's okay. Don't worry about that. I wanted you all to just practice going into yourself, because that's what this class is going to be about. It's really teaching you practically how to get answers for what you want to manifest, or the how-tos, what you need to go into. So if you did not get an answer about what you should manifest, what's happening is your mind is not quieting enough at this point so that you can literally tap into your higher self, your highest frequency, and allow that frequency to give you what you actually need. All right. When I say need, this is the specific, because everything that we need is going to be provided for us. But what you desire, what you want, I want you to focus on understanding that what we want, what we desire is very different from what we need. However, I want you all to just think about what you all want. If it didn't come to you, again, it's okay. That means there's too much chatter in your mind. So as we're getting into these deeper techniques, especially expanding vibration, tapping into the multiple versions of you, you have to be able to quiet your mind, okay? So if you were not able to do it, that's okay. Just take a note. As you're going through this class, I want everybody to just breathe. Deep breaths in and deep breaths out. As you're breathing in, as you're breathing out, I just want you to realize that you're releasing everything that no longer serves you. You're clearing your mind. Everything that is being cleared at that point is going to open you up to receive the benevolent and divine messages from the Most High. This is what is going to happen. This is law. Let it be so, and so it is. So now I want everybody just to continue to just breathe normally and listen to me. So we're going to go in from understanding manifestation to the law of attraction, setting the goal or the wish, which is we're going to expand upon that. Creating the vibration, we're going to take that to another level. We're going to tap into multiple versions of yourself. Wow, did everybody know that you had multiple versions of yourself running every day, all the time? It's not just you. You have parallel dimensions. You have parallel lives running right now. The problem is, how do I tap into that to find out what I'm doing? And how do I bring that energy back here, especially if you're doing something I want to do? This is one thing I learned probably 9, 10 years ago. how to tap into another version of myself. Because if I'm living here in this world, remember we talk about the monode. The monode has 12 souls. It's running constantly. How do I tap into those different souls? Because those different souls are versions of me. And they just might be doing exactly what I'm aspiring to do. And 9 times out of 10 they are, unless you're the top dog. Okay? The top dog means you are the top spirit, the top soul rather, that is running within that monode. Okay, so you all have different versions of yourself running every second of the day. It's just learning how to tap into those energies and bring them back. I've seen people tap into the other versions of themselves and cannot draw a lick, and they come back and they can draw like master artists. I've seen people come back and they learn how to train their vocal cords so that they can sing like the most proficient singer that you ever heard. I've seen people come back that never could write, and now they're writing books left and right. So these are versions of yourself that are running. So let's learn how to tap into that. We're going to get into that. The other thing is calling in spirits. Now, this was controversial because I was like, this one you got to learn, okay? I'm going to teach you the technique to do it, but I'm going to say right now, do not do it, all right? do not do it. Now, if this is something you aspire to do, please call me and get some training, all right? Okay. Get some training. There is a way I'm going to show you how to do it simply, and I'm going to do that tonight as well. We're A-type personalities. We never want to go right here. We always want to jump to the top, okay? So I'm showing you all kind of a mid, above, not the lowest level. I'm going to show you all how to do that versus just going right into the top. So I don't want anyone to have any issues or have any problems. So what I was saying is, when you're tapping into yourself, you have to understand we are part of what we call a spirit. The top spirit that we're part of is called the monode. The monode has 12 versions of your spirit running at all times. And I won't say at all times, because sometimes you might not have all 12 running, but you're going to have multiple versions or aspects of yourself running at one time. So in other parallel dimensions, other parallel timelines, you're actually creating, doing, and you're someone else, or you're doing something different from what you're doing here. Learning how to tap into that energy and bringing that energy back into this lifetime helps us tremendously in elevating ourselves to our desires and our goals. For example, I was saying, if there's someone that wants to become an artist, but their drawing skills are not very well, if they tap into themselves and there's another version of them that is a very prolific or pronounced artist, then they can tap into that energy and bring that energy back into this lifetime, and they can literally start drawing. I've seen people go from not being able to draw on Monday, and by Tuesday evening, they're drawing like master artists. So these are different aspects of yourself, is learning how to tap into these things. I'm going to teach you all the techniques to do it. However, you got to realize this takes practice. This is something you're not going to just learn to master and to do right now in one sitting. This is just opening the door for you. Now, if you want to learn more about how to do it, then we can tap into it. But at least this gives you the idea and the knowledge, and in the energy that we're in right now, if you have the knowledge of something and the ability to know that you can do it, it becomes a lot easier for you all. I will tell you something at the end that will help you to understand more of about what I just said. So that is what I said when I was talking about tapping into multiple versions of you. And then the next one I moved into was calling in spirits. And I said specifically, so to make sure everybody hears me, this one was controversial. This one, I was kind of like, should I do it or should I not put it in here? But I said, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. What I'm going to advise to everyone right now on this call, do not call spirits in, okay? Until you talk to me individually, because calling spirits in takes practice and know-how. You have to make sure you're protected. Now, I put the how-to in here. It's not the highest of the how-tos, and it's not the lowest of the how-tos. It is probably in the middle grade, because none of us like to start at the beginning. I mean, let's just be honest about it. None of us want to start from the base, bare brass tacks of how to do something. However, that sometimes is the best way to learn, because you understand something at a whole nother level, because you're actually moving into understanding, from understanding into belief, into knowing. And so sometimes we have to go through those stages. But again, I'm going to teach them to you. Caution now, do not do it, because there are certain spirits that are not benevolent beings. So you want to not call any spirit, all right? There's certain spirits I've even taught people to call that what we call worker spirits. Worker spirits are spirits that will do anything for you because that's just the plane that they're on. They're here to work, period. And I don't want people going beyond the worker spirits and then tapping into non-benevolent beings, all right? Because they're out there. Because when you open the door, everything comes in. Just remember that. So I don't want to teach you all how to do something and not show you how to properly protect yourself. However, I'm going to show you how to do it tonight. But again, this takes practice. Do not do this by yourself. If you want to learn how to do it, give me a call, all right? Then we're going to talk about detachment. Detachment is the key. And then I'm going to give you a manifestation ritual. This manifestation ritual is a little bit different than the last manifestation ritual because we're going to be tapping into multiple versions of ourselves. We're going to be possibly calling in spirits, and we're going to be creating a higher vibration. And we're going to be looking at how to do a different goal setting. So we started with that activity earlier. So now we are going to jump into understanding manifestation. So this is one of the key things that you have to do before you can actually start manifesting anything. Everybody wants to know and wants to do all these special things and tap into, I want to create this, that, and the other, but they don't understand manifestation. So what is the key thing that we have to do in order to manifest? We have to know what manifestation is. We got to know it. So we're going to just break it down real simple. Manifestation, by definition, is an event or object that clearly shows or embodies something, especially a theory or an abstract idea. When something spiritual becomes real. That is the key thing to understand. When something spiritual becomes real, or when something is unknown becomes known, or something that is of an idea, a thought, becomes a physical, materialized piece of matter, okay? Now, a physically materialized piece of matter doesn't always mean it has to be a car or house or some type of jewelry or some type of physical thing. It could be an actual manifestation of a situation that comes into your life, all right? So we got to understand that. Creation of an idea or thought into reality, that is what we have to understand. That is what manifestation is, purely, okay? It's taking a thought, a creative idea, and it's bringing it into a reality. That is what the essence of manifestation is when we talk about it in spirituality. So how many of you all have thoughts? And let's be real with yourself. How many of you all are thinking all day long? Let me give you some news flash. Everybody, all right? Everybody is thinking. Everybody has thoughts. Everybody has ideals running every second of the day. The thing is, we don't understand or know what we're actually running. We're living within a parallel dimension or shifted dimension within its own dimension within our own lives. Because you've seen people do it all day long. They have this perception of themselves. And if you don't believe me, tell all your friends to tell you everything about you. And I guarantee they're going to tell you something you did not want to hear. And they're going to say something because their perception of you is different from your perception of yourself. That is running a parallel. I've seen so many people comment and telling, hey, I'm this great person and I do this and I do that. But on the underside, it's something totally different. Sometimes they're not that great of a person. So again, that's opinion, whether they're a great person or not. But it's just the idea of understanding or knowing what it is you're actually thinking or what you're perceiving. So we got to understand that. So if we know what we're thinking, we know what we know, then we know what we're manifesting. Think about every situation in your life, every time, oh, I'm afraid of that, oh, I can't do that. The fear, if it's strong enough as a knowing, it pops into your life, it pops into your reality. Now, there are certain things like healing the physical body. If our mental is not strong enough to break what we've created with this ease that we have in our body, why it's come in, how it's happening, then we're unable to shift the actual manifestation into a reality of healing. Now that just takes practice of doing it. It can be done. I'm not going to sit here and say it's easy because it's not easy. All right. It's and I shouldn't even say that. It can be achieved with practice. And that's how I was teaching how to manifest. Small things first. The more that you become confirmed and the more that you understand what you're manifesting, how you're manifesting, the more that you realize that you can manifest and you're consciously doing it, the more confident you become in it. So that confidence goes into a belief, and the belief goes into a knowing, and before long you're just literally creating, and you create consciously what you want to create, because again, you know what you know. All right. And then we're in an energy now where we shift from Pisces energy, we've gone into an Aquarian energy. That Aquarian energy is putting us into a I know energy within our own bodies. We just need to get out of the way of ourselves. I'm gonna say that again. We just need to get out of our own way, okay? Because we are in an energy that is creating. Stop thinking so much of the negativity and the doubt and the fear. Fear and faith cannot hold the same space, all right? So stop thinking in states of fear. Start thinking in states of faith and knowing, and watch what happens. Just try it, and start small, because the more that you do it, the more it becomes a habit. How do you create habits? You continuously do a certain activity, and trust me, that activity will become a habit. Do it for 21 days, watch what happens. It'll stick with you. All right, so our minds create our wishes from the unconscious part of the mind. All right, so we talked about that a little bit last time, but I'm just gonna touch on it. Mind is heart, emotions, feelings, and vibration. So when the mind is heart, it's going to come from your emotions, your feelings. It's going to be vibrations. When your mind is coming from the brain, this thing up here between your ears, it's going to be your thoughts and ideas and visualizations and learning. So it's going to be what we've learned, what we've seen. When I say visualization, that doesn't mean what we just imagine. It means what we literally take in with our eyes. It literally is what we hear with our ears. It is literally manifested thoughts that have happened in front of us in this reality. It is physical. So we got to understand that. And we create out of both of these spaces. One is not separate from the other. But the mind of the heart is much larger. It's more powerful than the mind of the brain. We talk about the brain power. The brain power is very, very, very strong, very significant. But the heart created the brain. So the heart will trump the brain if you allow it to do it. That is going into the essence of spirit. Okay. When you're trying to manifest or understand manifestation, you want to clear discordant energies. What is discordant energies? These are energies that are not serving you, okay? Discordant energies are, I don't like that person, this, that, and the other. It's that negative, low vibrational frequency thoughts, patterns, actions. These are discordant energies, and they come to us from all kinds of ways. There's a whole class that me and my business partner teach about discordant energy. It is incredible once you start to break it down and understand what discordant energy is, how it is aligned with you in your space, in your Akash, and how it is literally running you. So discordant energy, we got to understand what that is. That is that chatter. It's a doubt in your mind. It's a subconscious programming of the ego. Let me say it again. It's a subconscious programming of the ego. So you're like, wait a minute, subconscious programming of the ego? I thought the ego was a conscious mind. Yeah, it is. But the ego takes in the conscious thoughts, practices, and visualizations, and it dumps it into the unconscious, which is the subconscious part of the mind. And that is where it starts to create programs to run your life by. So we got to start reprogramming all that stuff. The discordant energy is also energies that we engage in at the three-dimensional level. That is what we've learned, just what I said. That is what it means by the engaged energies we engage in the three-dimensional or third-dimensional level. These are energies, or these are activities, things that we have literally felt, seen, heard, and have been part of our life. Did you all know that manifestation is programmable? It is a program that is in our mind. It's a program that we consciously create so that we can bring more things into our existence. So manifestation is programmable. It is a muscle. The more that we train it, the more that we work it, the better we're going to get at it. So we want to start now. We want to start with small things. We're starting this year. That's why we're doing this thing, manifesting for the new year. Let's start building the muscle of manifestation in our unconscious to become our conscious for the new year. So that is one of the things, the goals that you should start looking at. This is it. What is the number one goal that everybody should have that's either on this call or that is actually in this room? It should be, I want to build the muscle of manifestation within myself. Because when you build that muscle, you just built the muscle that's going to create everything you've been asking how to create. Okay? So that's what we got to start doing. First, we got to be conscious of what we're creating. That's the first step. The second step is then learning to reprogram what has been created. And we got to start small. Start small with little things that give us the ability to just constantly manifest. And as we start small and we get bigger and bigger and bigger, things get easier for us. All right. So I want you all to just remember that. Start small. The basics build the foundation. I'm going to say it again. The basics build the foundation. All right. So start small. Don't start with, I want to manifest $100 million, or I want to manifest a billionaire lifestyle. If you're not living at least a millionaire lifestyle at this point. Okay. So let's start small, build the muscle. And again, once we do all of our manifestation, we'll talk about it later. If you start with spiritual core values first, and you manifest those core values within yourself, you change everything about the essence of you, and your vibration automatically raises. When the vibration automatically raises, guess what happens? Then the vibrations and the thoughts that you're sending out of your desires for manifestations, they start to come back to you. Because what happens, what is the law? What is inside is matched and vibrated by what is outside. Okay. So if you change your personality on the inside to a beautiful person, then everything around you begins to become beautiful. Okay. If you're living in a traumatic or tumultuous world, then you have to look at yourself first, because there's something inside of you that is manifesting this. Just remember that. Okay.
I have one question.
Sure thing.
This way, how to manifest, like you are teaching us,
Mm-hmm.
and using different kind of magic.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm trying to ask is, people tend to manifest in different ways,
Mm-hmm.
and through magic is, for example,
Mm-hmm.
possible to do.
Mm-hmm.
But is that something that you can maintain
Yes.
through magic?
Yeah, you can, because magic is what? Magic is a manifestation.
Okay. No
Magic.
matter what level it
Yeah,
is.
magic doesn't just appear and happen. Magic is practiced.
Yeah.
Magic is created. The magic is the manifestation of your own inner strengths and abilities.
So it just depends on, whether you are on the light side or the dark side. It doesn't matter. You can manifest through that.
It doesn't, light and dark doesn't make a difference on anything.
Yeah.
It's all energy.
Yeah.
So manifestation, it doesn't make a difference.
Okay.
And trust me, sometimes, and this is just a side note for you guys, sometimes it's easier to manifest from the dark than it is from the light, because the dark doesn't take a higher value consciousness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So guess what? It's really easy to stay in a lower value consciousness and work, because that is a natural human nature. Survival. That's what the ego is developed for. So why does it work? But trust me, what's going to happen is the debt that you have to pay back for that is way more than you want to pay.
Yeah. Thank you for that one. I needed to hear that one.
Yeah.
Not
The
that
debt-
I'm thinking about doing
Right.
that.
Oh yeah. But
But
the thing is, even with those people, if we start to take our minds purely spiritual, we don't worry about people that's working in the dark magic or the dark arts, because that's between God and that individual. And when we worry about ourselves and we focus only on us and raising our own vibration,
Yes.
guess what? That darkness don't come by us, because we are a reflection of our exterior environment.
Yeah.
Remember that.
So
It's
it
really
just
simple.
Passes. It just passes.
It don't even come to you.
Okay.
If something is coming to your life that's of darkness, there's something in you that's of darkness. That is the hardest pill to swallow. Nobody want to believe it's darkness in me. But if you just would start and just understand, yes, there is, then you can clear it out. But if you never admit it's there, you can never get rid of it. Okay? And so that was one of the biggest things I told people when I mastered myself, cry like a baby. Because I really looked at myself and said, ooh, you are not a good person. And that's why all these things are coming to you. And as soon as I changed me, everything bad disappeared. Everything bad disappeared. And then I started getting everything that I wanted. And every time I looked around my life, whenever I looked up and I said, oh, these things are bad, these things are uncomfortable, I don't want them, there was something in me that it was a reflection, because I asked to be on a spiritual path for evolution and ascension. That means every little shadow and darkness within me has to be shown, and I have to face it. So as soon as I get to a certain level, like, Sean Moran, you don't get this and this. I don't get it at this level, but trust me, it comes at a higher frequency that blindsides you a different way. And you just, let me do it. That's why I love having people around me that tell me the truth. Okay? I don't want people around me saying, oh, you're the greatest person. Oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. Because that's not who I am. I'm a human being.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly working. I haven't ascended at this point. I haven't ascended yet. So when I ascend, then I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then I'm still on this earth, so I got to stay in the process of ascension. That means I got to continue to be what got me to where I was or where I am. Yeah. You got to continue to be in that energy. All right, keep on going. So, law of attraction. We just talked about that. Become what you wish. All right, that's amazing how that happens. But become what you wish. All right. Matching vibrations are going to draw matching vibrations. Likeness brings likeness. So that's the first thing. Law of attraction, raise your vibration. Positive wishes. Eliminate the word not from your vocabulary. Avoid negative commands. Like, just avoid them. When I teach people to make a mirror of themselves, notice how many times you make or say negative commands to yourself. So you want to avoid negative commands. Ask questions that are precise when you want to manifest something. So as we start off, the first question I said, what do you want to manifest? And then about 10, 15 minutes into it, I gave you the answer. The thing that you all should have drawn to you to manifest is to build the muscle of manifestation, to learn how to create and manifest consciously, at will, master manifestation. How you do that, build the muscle. That's the first thing. The first thing in your mind that you want to start looking at. So now I'm kind of giving the answers to what I asked the question at the beginning. These are things you want to think about. This is setting goals for the new year, okay? The first goal that you want to set is I want to become a master manifester consciously, okay? So you're going to build that muscle. You're going to practice and create by what? Facing the shadows, eliminating what doesn't serve you, changing your vocabulary, allowing your vibration to match the vibration of what you desire. Okay, that's what you're going to be working on. And then you're going to be building the muscle slowly, starting small and building. Build the confidence, build the belief, take the belief and take it into knowing. And remember, we're in the Aquarian time period, so we're in a time of knowing. Okay. So then you're going to take responsibility. Law of attraction is about taking responsibility. Now, we talked about benevolent beings, calling in spirits. When we're talking about responsibility, we're saying here, do you have what it takes to achieve it? Does the outcome depend on someone else or something else? Now, you don't want to call in a benevolent being or a spirit and put all the weight on that spirit for them to do the work for you. It's not their job. However, they will if you understand how to call them and how to have them work. But it takes a high level and frequency to call means of high frequencies in to work for you. They don't going to work for the mundane, okay? Only high level frequency beings work for high level people, high level frequency people. Just remember that. Like vibrations attract like vibrations. That's why I said don't start calling in the beings just yet. Talk to me first, okay? Let me do an assessment of you, see where your vibration is, because if your vibration is in a certain space, you're going to call a certain level being in, all right? And sometimes that's not the being that we want to come in, because they'll work for us, but you have to pay them something or pay that being something on the backside. And then you want to make sure through law of attraction, everything is measurable. That is something that's key that a lot of people don't know.
I got a question there.
What's the question?
If you don't want us to call on, can we call on our ancestors? If we're manifesting and we want answers and we want them to show us what we need to change, like will we call on our angels? Like who would we call on as far as to manifest those things to us?
Call upon the ancestors. You can call the ancestors and the spirit guides. That you can do.
Okay.
That is for sure. I finished law of attraction. I'm going to go over these bullet points really simple for you guys once again. First thing is becoming what you wish. Matching vibration. Like vibrations create like vibrations. Positive wishes. Make sure that you eliminate the word can't, not, and all the negative aspects or negative comments or negative commands out of your vocabulary. Every time we're talking, every time we're saying something to ourselves or to other people, we're programming ourselves as well. So eliminate the negativity. Start to use positive words, positive affirmations for people, positive pushes, comments to people, and you'll start to see how they start to wind back around to you, because that is reprogramming the conscious mind, which reprograms the unconscious mind. So ask questions that are going to be precise. When you're trying to set up or create your manifestation, when you're trying to attract things to you, ask questions, the what's, the whens, the whys, and the who if necessary. And a lot of times I can tell you that who is always going to be you, all right? The who is always going to be you. You are always responsible for everything that you do. That is the first thing you have to embody in working with any of the things that I do, okay? If you don't embody the fact that you are in control of everything in your life, then you're just throwing away everything I'm teaching. Because if you feel that something else is controlling you or something else has a control over you and it doesn't start with you, then you can't change it, because now you have given your power to everything external of you. But it takes responsibility to say, I'm in charge of me. I am the one who created everything. It takes a big responsibility. So my teachings are not always for everybody, because I'm going to teach you the truth and how to go into levels that you never imagined you could get to. But it starts with yourself. All right. So again, being responsible. Do you have the means to achieve it? That's why I say set your goals responsibly. And then when you do take responsibility, you don't want to put the burden on someone else. And that includes an ancestor. You know, you can't call the ancestor and it's been helping you, or the spirit guide and it's been helping you, and say, hey, you know, it's your fault. Why didn't you do this for me? Well, it couldn't do something for you because you didn't allow it to. Okay. So always remember, take our own responsibilities. And then be measurable. Make sure you understand when the goal is achieved. Measurability. Measurability doesn't mean how big it is or how small it is. When is it achieved? When have you accomplished it? When have you taken that first step to create and manifest for the new year? Tonight, you made the step by taking the class. And the first step we're taking now to create the main thing in our minds that we need for manifestation is to develop the muscle of manifestation within ourselves. How do we do that? Through practice. Practice creates a belief system, and it creates a knowing. And it creates a habit of knowing, and then you start to know what you're manifesting consciously, and you're creating all the time. And you're consciously creating, not just oops, creating. You know, that's sometimes the worst thing in the world. You're like, how did I do that? You know, but you got to go back and think. It was deep inside you. So, but how do you know when you manifest it? You know, measure that. You know, what is the goal? What shows you I've accomplished the manifestation? I've accomplished the practice of believing and going into knowing. How do you know that you did that? Because now everything that you look around you consciously is a manifestation of your own thoughts and ideas. Okay? Just look around. That's when you start to consciously know how you're manifesting. That's the first step. All right, moving to the next slide. Anybody got any questions on that one?
It was practice creates belief system, a habit, knowing.
Well, yeah, the belief system creates the knowing, which becomes a habit.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Law of attraction, when we continue going with this, we talk about measurability, establishing a clear picture, knowing when something is completed. Be completely convinced of what you want. I always do that. You know, that's the first thing, because again, if we're not completely convinced of what we want, what are we creating? We say, I want to create this, but then I don't really want that. You create that. So you can't create it. You can't manifest it because you're going back and forth. So be precise, okay? Ecological, make sure it is aligned personally with your higher selves. You know, if you're a benevolent being and a light worker, don't go trying to figure out dark magic. It ain't gonna work, okay? And the vice versa. If you're into the dark magics, don't go try to work with the benevolent beings. It's not gonna work because ecologically it's not aligned with what you're trying to do. So can you go from the dark to the light or the light to the dark? Yes, you can. But what has to happen is ecologically within yourself, you have to begin to shift and change and mold yourself into that energy, okay? All goes back to us. Ecological is making sure that it's according to your values. Ecological is making sure your goal is according to your values, your principles, and your identities, okay? Who you are. It makes sure it's safe for your health, you know, and it's It has to be approved by your unconscious mind, the subconscious mind. So those are things that are in there. And then also be open for different options of outcomes. That's the fun part.
Yes.
We always like, I want to do it this way, and then I'm going to win the bodybuilding competition of the world, or whatever it is. We're going to do the fitness competition of the world. I'm going to do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work, I'm going to eat, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go to this, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this show, I'm going to do that show. And you're working and working and working, but nothing ever comes to fruition because the Most High may have a different plan where don't do this show, do this show. This show is going to align you with this person, it's going to align you with that person is going to put you into a place where you can maximize the look of your body, and your look of your body will then be noticed by somebody at this point, and this point will literally open you up to win, okay, to achieve your goal. Be willing to follow different means of outcomes. Yes?
Yeah, it's just a thought of, or when you're manifesting, desiring certain things, and then a certain version of it comes because you weren't so specific, like with
Right.
your father.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
very much a manifestation of desire, but a
Right.
slight variation, but technically what Spirit wanted from you.
Right, exactly, yeah. And so again, be very specific, because, and when we talk about specific, that doesn't mean you have to be getting detailed down to the T of what you want. Specific means know what you're asking for and how you want to get it. Now, how do you do that to make it very easy and blanket it all? Say I want it through grace. I want everything through grace. Okay? Very simple. Because you get too detailed in your mind, and your mind jumps into it and becomes the ego, and the conscious mind and the unconscious gets out the way, and then the spirit's like, I'm done with you. I ain't got time for this. You are purely in ego. So remember that. Be open to different options of outcomes and be specific. Specific meaning know what you want. Know what you want. I mean, I can't stress that enough. And know what you want. Tonight, when you get off this call, when you leave this house, start writing down what you want. And I should get an email, and this is homework for everybody. If I don't get an email, y'all bullshitting. It's going to be real. I should get an email from everybody within the next 24 hours. Tell me what you know that you want. I want to know what everybody wants. And if you want me in your business, send me an email that says, I know what I want. I'm okay with that. Okay? But I need to get an email from everybody because it starts here. Manifesting for the new year. I need commitment. I need commitment from you because you're here in this class. That means you need to commit to yourself. So I need an email from everybody in the next 24 hours that tells me what it is that you want. Even if it says, I know what I want. Okay? If I don't get that from everybody within 24 hours, I'm going to really know where you're at. All right? I mean, it's simple. How do you manifest for the year? I'm telling you right now, we're doing this actively. Not just, hey, this is what you're going to do, X, Y, and Z. No, we're going to actively do this. So you guys got some homework.
There are several things that I want to manifest. And I think you're going to say I need to prioritize what I want the most, and then like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But you normally talk about that we should focus on 1 or 2 things at a time, not more, because then it's too much, right? So am I understanding that correctly? Or what advice do you have?
Do you want the sugar-coated version or do you want the direct version?
Direct version. Always, you know me.
I know. To answer that question, Kristen was asking about having different wants or desires to manifest. And she was saying that I usually would say that prioritize. Okay, so what I'm going to do is give the straight with no chaser answer. That is incorrect. Okay. The reason why it's incorrect because you missed the main optimum point.
Okay. Which is?
The first step, which I've talked about, the first thing, manifestation of your core values.
Yeah.
Change what's inside to vibrate to attract what's outside. Okay? So if you got 25 goals of what you want, but then inside ain't matching them 25 goals, then guess what? It don't matter. 25 goals not coming. So I wouldn't say if you have multiple things that you want to manifest, make a list. If you have multiple things you want to manifest, and the first thing on the list ain't my highest consciousness to be emerging within my physical body and my essence of my presence in this reality, then I'm going to say, you missed the point.
Yeah.
If your first goal is not to master myself, to raise my vibration to the highest frequency possible, you missed the boat. Now, if that is the first thing, then I'm going to say prioritize it.
I am on the same page as you.
Yeah,
and I agree with you, and I'm exactly there.
Yeah.
I just needed to.
Sometimes because we get so focused on, I want this.
Yeah.
And the eyes get big.
Yeah.
And you forget about the essence of what we're doing.
Yeah.
So
it's
always
all
keep.
about the higher vibration.
Yeah, hold on. Keep that question. I got one question that was on here, and I want. But please don't hold the question. All right. So, Randy, you asked about what do you do if you don't know what you want to manifest, and that's okay. Sometimes we don't know what we want to manifest. However, this is what we do know. We know the feeling that we want to feel. In essence, in our life. So, just like your sister was saying, in essence, we know what we want to feel. So, what we should start to do is start to manifest that feeling. We want that vibration of that essence of wholeness, of balance, of unconditional love, of genuinity. We want all that energy to be manifested within our lives. The genuineness, we want that energy to be inside of us. So if we focus on what that feels like, the manifestation of knowing is, I know what I want to feel like. And remember, we just talked about it. Be open to different options of what the outcome is or how to get down to that outcome. God will give you the road to go down because it's going to you're going to come into a manifestation of that feeling, and that feeling is going to replicate exactly in your reality, your physical reality, what is going to actually give you that feeling. So what is in your heart of what that feeling is, then your exterior will literally physically match it, and you will feel that feeling while you're in it. So some of us don't know physically what we want to manifest. However, we know what we want to feel. Okay? So we want to feel unconditional love of the Creator. If you don't have a clue of what you want to feel, take yourself back to the most exciting time, the most loving time that you had inside of yourself. And say, this is what I want my life to be. You know what I'm saying? Say look like. I say what I want my life to be. Okay? Be is what? It's a definite. What I'm teaching you is how to speak. These are all ways of creating a positive affirmation. So I'm teaching you guys these things as we're going through this class. Be definite, okay? Next question.
Oh, it's pretty much the same question, just like for clarity. Like piggybacking off of the example you used to be the best bodybuilder.
Right.
But you know you're lazy.
Right.
So you need to work on.
Right. Yeah, you need to work on yourself first. Right.
Before you just
Right.
say, I want to go be a bodybuilder.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like if I'm weighing 550 pounds and I decide I want to be the next best bodybuilder, and I'm sitting here with an ice cream cone and a chicken wing in my hand, and I'm eating and looking at TV, you know, right? Exactly. You're just dreaming about it. Now, if you start to and that's a good manifestation, but if you surrender to that manifestation or surrender to that desire, what'll start happening is your mind will literally start to shift, and you'll put down the ice cream, you put down the chicken wing, you'll get up off the couch, you'll start watching fitness, and you'll start becoming fitness. But then that takes a surrender. That's a whole nother aspect. We'll get into that too.
And you don't even want that ice cream anymore.
Right, exactly.
You don't have an appetite for it either. It makes you makes your stomach go
exactly.
sideways.
Yeah, it does.
Ask,
So I mean,
ask for the mindset to
Yeah.
attain that, to be in the energy.
Right, the mindset. And then if we can't figure out the mindset because we ain't ever been there,
Right.
what does it feel like?
Yeah, exactly.
What is
To have
the
discipline.
optimal, right? What is the optimal feeling of success? And I want to be a top level fitness professional, but I'm nowhere near that. So it's like, but what does it feel like? And so you take yourself into that space of what it feels like, and then you just meditate on that feeling, and you call in the ancestors to help you show you that feeling. And then you start
That
to.
was my next question.
I'm with you.
Third
Third eye's
was
open.
my next question.
So then you call in the ancestors at that point, and we're going to talk about that when we talk about the spirits. Okay. It's just bringing yourself into that feeling, and that feeling bring to you the reality. Because sometimes we don't know what the reality is. Sometimes we don't know how to find a reality. If you never made $1 million, you never made $100,000, you don't know what it is. So how do I feel it? And, then you just take yourself in that place of, I just want to be completely happy. And forget the $1 million, forget the $100,000. I just want to be completely happy. And all of a sudden, but you've already said, you planted that seed of $1 million, $100,000. And all of a sudden, I want to be really happy. You focus on just being so happy, and your inside starts to change. Everything vibrates, but that goal was still set. That seed was planted, and you asked for it, and now you've detached from it. And now all of a sudden, the lifestyle starts to happen. The manifestation starts to just appear in front of you. The reality just starts to develop because what? You changed the inside. It is so easy when it comes to manifestation. Know what you want, but first start with yourself. And your vibration will match everything in your reality. I am a firm believer in that, a knower in that. Okay. All right. So surrender is kind of the last thing we talked about, and the last part of here is release the ego. We got to surrender it. We got to let it go. That's the ego is not serving us unless we have everything that we desire. Okay.
And we are releasing by just saying, I just want to be happy, and you don't care how, you just want
right
to be happy.
There you go. That is perfect. Yes. We release the ego when we say, I just want to be happy. I want to be whole. I want to be balanced. I want to be the reflection of God that I was created as. And that's perfection. Okay. And so when we get to that level, then it's like, hey, it doesn't matter about anything else around us, but we've already planted the seeds. And the seeds become the manifestation because it becomes what's inside of us. As the seed is planted inside of us and we begin to change internally, the seed begins to grow. And what is internal is external. What is above is below. What is below is above. Period. Remember that. Okay? You all just got the master key right there. You just got it. You just got it. Plant the seed. It's okay to think and desire to have whatever you want materialistically. It doesn't matter. Health, materialistic, wholeness, wellness, love, whatever. It's there. Plant the seed. Change the inner being, and the seed is going to cultivate and grow. The seed can't grow inside of you if it don't have no nurturing or water or an environment to grow in. If you putting this seed in darkness and deceit and lies to yourself, it ain't gonna grow. Okay? Exactly. It's an empty pot. Ain't nothing to nurture it. But when you change the inside begins to nurture everything. And that's what changes us.
It's so unbelievable exactly what you just said right now. I said it to someone today.
Yeah, and it's what's inside is outside. That is like vibrations create like vibrations. I cannot say it enough times. I mean, it's so simple. It's really stupid. Yeah, it's difficult because it's so easy. But we always look exterior. That's always looking outside of ourselves. It's over there. I want this. But it's inside. Everything is inside. You are the book. All right, let me keep going. I'll have you all here all night. You're so funny. I actually am ordained though. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not kidding, but I'm I know, I try to make people laugh. All right. Okay. So this is what we get into. Setting the goal or the wish. Choose a goal for the new year. We're only looking for short-term goals, attainable goals. I want y'all to think about this right now. This is the active part. This is where we get into it. The other part was kind of like, I spent a lot of time on it, but everything we needed. Setting the goal, and we've talked about it time and time again. The goal should be attainable. The goal should be simple. We're trying to build the muscle of manifestation. We're working it out. We're training it. We're teaching it. And we're teaching it by thinking about what we want exteriorly, but then changing interiorly. So what we see outside that we want is exterior, That's the seed that's planted interior. Remember, what's above is below, what's below is above, what's in is out, what's out is in. So when we put our out antennas up and so we want these things to come to us from the material world, well, those are now planted seeds on the interior. Now it's time to grow what's on the interior by shifting ourselves. So we want to start to look at short-term goals. Short-term goals. This is what I want you all to do. Focus on nothing but short-term goals. What is the first goal? Build that muscle of manifestation. How do we do that? We go into a state of knowing what we know and knowing what we want. And we start to focus on manifesting the best interior core essence of ourselves. Okay? So that's the first short-term goal. How do we manifest for the new year? This is how we do it. Okay? This is how you do it. Set these goals for changing your inside first. Okay? Then start to look at the effects of your change. And these effects can happen in minutes. Doesn't take hours, years, days, weeks. It can happen in minutes and seconds. As soon as you go inward and look inside, you feel something shift in your heart. Feel something shift in your chest. And it's like, whoa, something just happened.
And you cannot put your finger on it.
You can't put your finger on it.
No.
Because the energy just shifted into a state of knowing. You just set the goal to work on yourself. You just took responsibility. So everybody right now, we're going to say this. This is the first goal, the short-term goal. We're going to do it in 5 seconds. Everybody repeat after me. I know this sounds cliche. I am responsible for everything in my life.
I am responsible for everything in my life.
Let it be so and so it is.
Let it be so and so it is.
Done. Now, when you did, you just took an oath to take full responsibility. That means you took an oath to now create everything that you desire. Create in a state of knowing. Because you're responsible for everything at this point. So everything. Even if you get in that car accident, you were responsible for it. Because you might have said, I want some money. And you didn't say you wanted it with grace. Right? So, I'm just making jokes. but I'm just saying.
Make point by adding that to that accident. Yeah.
Remember, say it with grace, all right? You know, start to take responsibility of your thoughts. Because somewhere in your thought process, you either had some fear or something coming in and it happened, okay? Just because it's fearfulness, it's something that harms us, doesn't mean we can't create it because it's a knowing. All right. So we got to be aware of ourselves. So we're responsible for ourselves now. So now we start looking at everything. Whoa, I'm responsible for this. I'm responsible for that. You become aware. So that's the first thing. All right. So that is going to build the foundation of the larger goals. So we got the first goal. Always make everything spiritual in essence. We talked about that. That is cleansing the inside. Make yourself beautiful on the inside and it goes on the outside. But the more beautiful you become on the inside, the more those seeds grow. Period. Period. So stop looking for the outsource of the growing of the seed, all right? You know, everybody says, this is what I want. Just stop. If you're in a place where you're not happy, just stop right where you are. I created this place. So if I created this place, I can change this place. So stop and just look inside. It's like, okay, I'm going to do this from now on. You know, I'm going to really master myself from now on. That is the number one goal. That is how we manifest for the new year, everything that we want. Master yourself first, okay? Everything we're doing is all about self-mastery. Okay? Self-mastery. When we start getting that spiritual in the essence, automatically the vibration raises. Automatically the seed starts to grow. And automatically everything you want starts to come to you because you did what? Completely detached from it. Completely detached from everything that you saw in the outside. Because now you're working on the inside. But remember, everything you saw on the outside, everything that you manifest or wanted to manifest on the outside is remembered. And now because you're in the knowing of a higher frequency, of a higher vibration, that knowing of getting these things are supposed to make you feel good. They do make you feel good. So they grow from the inside and they show up on the outside and you feel good. All right? It works together. And it's a cycle that feeds each other. So once you get that muscle working, get ready because everything will come to you. Like, hold on, let me slow down. Visualize the goal being attained. So when you're setting a goal or the wish, you want to visualize it, see it already being attained. And how do you see it being attained if you've never seen it or felt it or been in it or and understand it? What does it feel like? Okay. Remember that. What does it feel like? Because what it feels like is what it looks like. Because what's inside is outside. You all should be saying this with me by the time we finish tonight. Inside is outside. It's okay. So we know it. All right. So quick snippets of you and the manifestation. Quick snippets. That means you're just kind of seeing things here and there. Oh, wow, that would be fun. And you see it. It's a vision. And then you don't attach to it, but you just see it and it feels good. And you go back into that feeling good. Then you start working on yourself more. Then you see it. It feels good. And you work on yourself some more. And all of a sudden it's here. What happened? It just pops up. I'm telling you, it works. I've done some amazing things in short amounts of times. You know, I don't talk about them because that's something when you do your manifestations, especially in the material world, shh. Because there are outside energies, because you're so happy and it becomes egotistical and gloating and boastful. And what happens is you get other people started, I don't like him. And now you got to block something else. But you created it. So we created it. So again, you know, be humble with what you create. Be excited for yourself on the inside and show other people how to do it. Just keep doing it. Then you create the affirmations. Great affirmations are stated in the now. And then actually what we're doing is be. When we say, this is who I am, we're being this person. We don't want to state in a way that the unconscious mind thinks it already has it, so the unconscious mind stops creating it, okay? And how do we do that? We affirm by building our interior core. We affirm right affirmations that affirm our feeling of oneness, our feeling of wholeness, because that feeling is linked to the external manifestation of whatever physically or material we want to come to us. So how do we do it? We write affirmations about ourselves and how we feel. Okay, that's something that a lot of people don't teach you. How do you write the affirmation in the now for in the now to be in a state of being without attaching to it or without saying that I already have it, so I don't need to create it. Write the affirmations for the feeling of what you want, but the affirmation should be directed towards the growth of the inside. Okay? So the affirmation be the feeling that I am getting is incredible. I'm nurturing myself daily. I'm spiritually expanding and growing into my wildest dreams with grace. Affirmations. You ever heard anybody say affirmations like that? No. Affirmations 101. Here we go. I am. Okay. I am. Well, we got to expand it. We're taking this to another level. We're going into a whole other level. Like most people say, you know, I am prosperous. I am bountifully supplied with a surplus of abundance, with prosperity and love. I am this, I am. And those are great. Those are good. They're not bad. But if you don't have them things in your life, again, it becomes fake it till you make it. So the affirmation is, I'm feeling really powerful on the inside. I'm feeling the unconditional love growing within me every day. I'm feeling the nurturing of all my desires coming to fruition.
So it's like you're practicing to focus more so on the growth
Feeling.
than the result.
In the feeling of the growth.
Got it.
Yes, exactly. You're focusing on the feeling and you're focusing on the growth of yourself, which brings what's inside is outside. Outside is inside, okay? So I make it easy, but I make you work on yourself. And that's the hard part.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us don't want to work on ourselves. A lot of people just want to get it outside, but you can't have what's outside if you ain't got it inside. What's inside is outside. Outside is inside. Okay. All right. So those are ways that you can create some great affirmations, just like that. Set standards for you to know when you have created the situation or the essence of what you really desire. Those are just different things that you want to tap into and be okay with. A lot of times we don't understand the power of our own words, so we have to understand them. So when you set the standards for you to know when you have created the manifestation, you've created the interior growth, you want to set your goals or set your affirmations according to that as well. So the affirmations of I've attained the feeling of oneness that I've desired. I am in a state of being in a perfect love. Okay, so those things. Okay, that's how you want to do it. Creating the vibration. Creating the vibration is key. You know, the vibration is what grows what's inside of us. Everything is about what's inside of us, because what's inside of us is outside of us. Okay, so we want to make sure that we continue to cultivate that energy. All right, want to continue to cultivate that energy, that vibration. How do we do that? You know, again, this was from the last one I put in here, and I kind of built on it. Everything we've been doing is building the vibration. This whole conversation we've been having with everybody is building the vibration. It's getting you excited because now you know the key to manifesting. You know how to do it now. You understand what's inside is outside. How many times have I said that tonight? It got to be 1,000 times. Exactly. Just 12. So creating a vibration. Everything we're doing, we're getting excited. We're getting optimistic. We're starting to learn new things. How do we raise our vibrations? We learn new things about ourselves. And every time we learn something new about ourselves that excites us, the vibration raises. Every time we make one small accomplishment, even if it's knowing thyself, the vibration raises. Every time we do it. So these are ways to raise the vibration. The traditional ways, yeah, we got to clear and balance the chakras. We talked about that. But we're going beyond that now, okay? Clear and balance the chakras, you know that. Meditation, breathing, setting intentions, all these things are going to help us to raise our vibration. Listen to calming but energizing music. Change the binaural beats. Come to a drumming circle. Come to a meditation. You know, do things for yourself that makes you feel good. And most of all, release all the fears. Those are ways that we open up to a higher vibration. But what we're learning now is we're moving into a space where we know. We know because now we know the keys. We know the keys to creating everything that we want. For this year, we have the keys in our hands. The first thing we're going to do is work on ourselves. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start to manifest a higher frequency within ourselves, because it's inside is what's outside. How many times have I said it? All right, so these are things that we're seeking. We're seeking the truth, all right? So what I'm giving you is a pure truth. So all I want you to understand is the truth. Create a vibration by setting the intent. Setting the intent to be excited. Setting the intent to enjoy what you're doing. Setting the intent to be successful. Setting the intent to know that you know. Okay? Set that intent. Be positive. Everything is on a higher frequency. Next thing you can do is you can start to call in external energies. When you're raising a vibration, call up on the ancestors. Go into meditation, quiet yourself, call the ancestors to come in, support me, hold me, take me into another frequency, take me into another dimension. Show me where I can see more of what I am desiring. What do I have to be inside to vibrate what's outside of me? What has to be vibrating from my higher self to show me what I want outside of me? Okay? What's vibrating inside? Call the spirits in. And again, you got to get excited. See? You got to love this stuff. You got to be like, oh, man, I'm excited, man. And this is the next class I'm going to teach. Every time I write these courses out, I'm like, how is this going to impact somebody? And I started to get excited because like, wow, I forgot that. Wow, I forgot that. Let me go back and work on myself. And so I'm getting excited because I'm teaching the basics, but the basics are part of the foundation of some of the stuff I've forgotten. But I'm so excited about now relearning it that I feel like I just learned it for the first time. Vibration raises. Humility. I'm not above what I'm teaching. Okay? So for me to show examples of where I was and where I am now, it's incredible. 8 years ago, it doesn't even seem like that long ago, I've been in this house. But before I got in this house, I was homeless for 18 months. Okay? Living on the streets, living in my office, wherever I could live. Because I went through a spiritual awakening and I did not take responsibility for my actions of creating the situations that I was in. So I got smacked really hard. Lost everything. But it came back 100-fold. And it keeps growing every day. Growing. And that's all I can see, because it's become a manifestation muscle, and it's become a habit, and it becomes a knowing, and that's all that I am going to accept is my knowing. That's it. Okay, so you all got to get to that same space. Keep the vibration high. People like being around me a lot of times when my vibration is high. Vibrations attract like vibrations. And you get to a like vibration, you get high, I get high, we get high, and it goes back and forth, and next thing you know, you're creating. Okay? That's why you got to know what you're thinking. Because at that point, oh, I'm scared. Oh, you just created something. All right. So we got to stay in the right. We got to stay in that knowing. Master yourself. You're really ever. People say, Sean, right? You never really talk bad about people. No, I don't. I don't want no parts of that. That means I'm gonna manifest something. I'm gonna manifest a lower frequency of me, which is going to tear down my exterior. All right.
So that is what happens because I have seen so often when I see high vibrations, people who have high vibrations, and has happened to me as well.
Mm-hmm.
People who are low vibration, they are like, wow, they kind of get like,
Yeah, well, you got to also realize that.
They want a piece of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes those high vibrational people aren't high vibrational people.
All the way.
You can fake it. You ever seen these people? Oh, I'm a spiritual. And they going home there. How am I paying my bills? I don't understand. Look, because they faking it. It's real. You have to be real with this stuff. Spirit, God don't play. You can go ahead and preach to the world. I'm this, I'm that, I'm more, I'm great. And you can be rotten on the inside. And trust me, it's going to show. It's going to come out. Because what's inside is outside. Exactly. Correspondence. That's what it is. There you go. All day long. All right. So keep on moving here. You all got me out here talking all kind of stuff. Have me until 12 o'clock tonight. All right. So here's the fun part. Tapping into multiple versions of you. So we have multiple versions of ourselves existing on many different planes in different universes. All right. They are always out there. Like I say, we have what we call a spirit. So everybody, I'm going to tell you the difference between a spirit and a soul. The spirit is the big kahuna. The spirit splits. Masculine and feminine energy. That is your twin flame. Okay? If you find your twin flame, great, congratulations, because you got about a 1 in 3 billion chance of finding that one. All right? However, now because of the time we're in, twin flames are coming together faster because we need a higher frequency of vibration because of the planet needs it. When it splits, this aspect of your soul, this aspect of your soul, or your spirit, this aspect of the spirit and this aspect of the spirit has 12 souls running simultaneously. Now, I say they have 12 souls running simultaneously. Not all the time are they incarnated, okay? But the soul energy is there. So if you have 12 souls running, that means you have 12 and 12, 24 souls. So you can still possibly tap into the soul of the twin flame, all right? Because it's part of us. So there's many versions of us running at all times. Now, how many are actually incarnated, we don't know, okay? Until you go into a meditation, go into the Akashic Records, and you can find out. You can find it out. So now we're going to stick to our 12 souls, okay? Our 12 souls have 12 souls per, which is 144, all right? Those 144 souls are our soul's family. They're all constantly trying to help each other move into the higher spirit, which is the monode. Because remember, we start with the big kahuna. That's the spirit. That is the monode. It splits. Now we got the masculine and feminine energy of the spirit. The spirits have 12 souls. Those 12 souls have 12 souls to help them to learn to elevate back up into the higher spirit to come to the monode. Okay, I was just explaining the difference of the spirit and the soul. So I'll do that again really quickly so that you all can understand real quickly. The spirit is in what we call the monode. The monode is the big kahuna. The spirit basically then splits into two. You have a masculine and feminine energy. These are the twin flames of the spirit, okay? So when we have this spirit, so we're just gonna use one spirit at a time. This spirit has 12 souls running. These 12 souls have 12 souls according to them, which makes the soul family, which is 144. So that goes into another understanding of the 144 levels of consciousness. That's a whole nother story. So we're gonna go back into this. I'm not gonna get over there. All right, so we have the 12 souls that are running, these 12 souls that are running for this aspect of the spirit. Their job is to get that aspect of the spirit to ascend and go back into the monode, okay? So 12 souls you have running constantly. Sometimes some of them are incarnated, sometimes some of them are not incarnated. That means some of them are alive and moving in a different dimension, and some of them are dormant, but they're still gathering information. They're still live cells, all right? So how do we tap into this? We use meditation. We use meditation to tap into the other aspects of ourselves. These other 12 souls, these 12 soul families, they want to help, okay? The souls want to help, period. They will move out of the way. If you have 10 souls running and 2 aren't or not, and you have 10 that are running completely for this spirit to bring us into this monode, what happens is those 10 souls work together, and if soul number 1 is doing the best work, then souls 1 through 9 would literally drop off and put all their information and push soul number 1 up as high as they possibly can so that it can ascend, because if that one soul ascends, everything ascends. And it's the beauty of spirit, of understanding spirit. That's what we don't understand as human beings. If we work together as one, we create the whole. But we're so busy trying to work as individuals that we separate ourselves. Everybody's got to do this, everybody got to do that. But if you come together as one, united we rise, divided we fall. Okay? So just remember that. The souls have that concept. They're trying to work together. And if one is working and one is not doing so well, it's like, I'm dead weight, I'm dropping. And that soul goes and does what it has to do, and then the energy from that soul goes into the soul that's doing the best. And they keep working for each other to help push up so that they can ascend. That's the whole purpose of ascension. Those versions of yourself are running right now, okay? So we have to find them, because some of those souls are literally doing something that you want to be doing. Your life could be stuck in this aspect, but this soul is flying in it. So guess what? Learn to meditate, learn to tap into this soul that's flying, get the information, the know-how, the download from it, bring it back into this universe, and this one will come back with you. Sometimes I'll send the energy with you, and it changes your life, shifts. That's what I was talking about earlier, where I've seen artists that cannot draw. Within the next day, they're drawing like professionals. It's because they tap into that other aspect of the soul. They tap into that other version of themselves. You know, there was a whole course years ago that seriously, specifically taught you how to tap into other versions of yourself. So it's a fun thing to do. All of it is about astral travel. So I'm gonna read this kind of through, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask, but that's kind of in a nutshell, everything that I just explained is what this is talking about. This is helping you to understand the process of tapping into those versions. And it's always good to tap into those versions. So first you're gonna use meditation to get into a trance. Trance allows you to step outside of your physical body. Breath is the best way to get into your trances. What you're going to do is allow yourself to shift into an observer mode. That means you're an observer. I'm just watching. I'm not inserting myself. I'm sitting back and I'm just watching what's happening. All right. So then you're going to astrally project into your space of creation. That is where you originated, where the spirit split into the 12 souls. So you go back into that space. And then from that space, you're going to align with your higher self, okay? Then you're going to ask to be shown the different versions of yourself, and you're going to literally trickle down into whatever version that you feel that you want to trickle down into. that has what you want. So you're going to move into it. It could be the lifestyle, it could be the talents, it could be the abilities, it could be anything that you desire. You're going to find that and you're going to trickle down into it, okay? Align with that version of yourself. All this is very easy, and I can guide you through a meditation to do it. Maybe I do it Wednesday night. I don't know, for healing. Who knows? But maybe I won't. So, so align with yourself in that version. Then ask that version of you permission. Ask that version of you for permission to get information. Because you always want to be respectful. Don't just walk in, I'm just going to take this. Be respectful of yourself. That's all part of our inner growth. It's respecting ourselves. It's asking ourselves for permission and giving ourselves permission. So allow yourself to do that, okay? Once you get permission from yourself, you align with yourself. You're now building a bond with another version of you. Because you're not just coming taking. You're coming in and you're asking, you're being loving, you're being kind, you're being respectful. You're like, man, I'm in awe of what you're doing, and you're in awe of yourself. So respect yourself. And yourself is going to literally at that point download the information to you, give you the information, or literally it might come back with you. And you can bring that energy back into this space. Now, when you do that, you give thanks. And you give thanks for the link to them. And you give thanks for them for the information. You make sure you ask that it's okay that you use the information at your will, on your command, whenever you want it. Your other self is going to say, yeah. Because remember, the souls are doing what we just talked about at the very beginning. They're trying to elevate each one. So guess what? If one can help you have a better lifestyle, and it makes you happier, then you're going to open up even more, because we're doing what? We're working on what's inside, because what's inside is what's outside. There you go. See, y'all get it now. Y'all get it. Y'all get it. Y'all get it. Y'all get it. All right. So once you do that, you give thanks. You return to your body in a state of knowing. Knowing that you received and retrieved what you want. Okay? Remember, using mind, using words, knowing. We're in a knowing that we got it. We're back here. Now, don't look for the result. Let it grow from within. Because what's within is what's without. Okay, what's inside is what's outside.
They just bounce off.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's why.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
It kind of was the answer to what I was thinking earlier, but I didn't ask it, was wanting to gain the energy and the feelings that I used to have that drove me in a different way. And so the question is, was that just a different version of me? Because some of that energy and feeling just isn't the same, yet I'd like to have that. And from what you're saying, it's almost like, well, maybe that was just a different version of me.
Say that again. I'm sorry, I'm trying to respond to messages and people calling in.
Okay, I'll wait. The signal's out for all of us. Huh?
Yeah, it's in and out.
So the question, are you ready?
Yeah, right.
When you were earlier, I was thinking what I really want is the energy and feelings that I used to have that drove me in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So then as you said this, I was like, wow, that's kind of the answer. Was it just a different version of me? So am I asking for like that energy? Because when you said be in awe of yourself, sometimes I look at the energy I had at different points, like years ago, I'm like, where is she?
Right.
So would that be possibly a different version?
Yes.
That's the question.
Yes, it is. That's a different version. But the different version was here with you. So the different version was actually here in this existence with you.
Okay.
So it's not that you were just like, oh, it's a different version of me and it's gone. It's not necessarily that, or it's just like I was in a different space. You were operating. Remember, the souls work together.
Yeah.
So the soul knew what you needed to get. And when your soul knew it, it gave it to you. And then you got it, but then you relied on that version of your soul to keep you there. And when that soul had to go back to its own life, you lost it.
Mm-hmm. So we can get it back then.
Yeah, you can get it back. Yeah. Because it's part of you. It's already inside of you.
Yeah.
All right. So we just finished talking about tapping into the multiple versions of you. We just had a question somebody asked when they were in a period of their life where they were most prominent and they were doing the most, they were very much so in awe of themselves. And it's like, how do I get back to that space? And she was asking, was that a multiple or was that another version of myself that was running during that time period? The answer to that question is yes. So what happens is a lot of times we got to remember the soul wants to help each soul elevate. So if the soul communicates unconsciously to another soul or the energy of another version of yourself, it comes in and starts to help. And you're literally like, wow, I'm in awe of myself because this version of you is now running this reality. And you get into the point where like, I'm in awe of myself. And then what happens is we start to become dependent on that energy of that soul. And when that soul goes back to its own life, then we feel like we're dropped off and we don't have the same energy. We don't have the same zeal and power that we had before. And we're not in awe of ourselves and we find ourselves we're lost. Well, that's because that version of you went back to its version of itself and it had to go back into its dimension because it gave you enough energy and information on how to live that. You just had to make that become a part of your life, but you didn't. And what happened when that soul left, you were dependent on that soul and you had to depend upon yourself. So the souls try to help us to understand. So it's a valuable lesson that we learn that the soul comes in to us, is called into us without us even consciously knowing it. Because again, the souls want to constantly elevate and push each one of the souls up into that monode. So if it can, a version of you can help you become better, it's going to help you become better. Now remember, if we don't embody that energy that's making us better and we love it and we don't take it inside, because what's inside is what's outside. If we don't take it inside and make it us and grow it and cultivate it, what happens? The exterior part of our life goes back to where it was before.
But you manage,
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
yeah, but you manage to make it maintain it by,
You maintain it by embodying what you're doing.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
You become it.
Yeah. So it's okay.
There's that word again.
Yeah. So it's okay for that soul to go back where it came from.
It's fine.
Yeah. And you keep those.
Yeah, because remember we just talked about it. You download it and you think it's accessible at your command.
Yeah.
And it's only accessible at your command when you embody the energy and it becomes you.
Mm-hmm.
And now when it becomes you, this soul is happy because, hey, I didn't help somebody. This soul, now it's going to elevate. And now this soul, you're going to help that soul. Yeah, and it's going to, because what you then move into another level, it can use from you.
Yeah.
They help each other all the time. All right. That's the version of ourselves. That's the other versions of ourselves that are constantly running. Learn how to tap into these versions. And again, there's ways to do it, and we'll enjoy doing it at some point. I would be definitely doing series classes next month, teaching certain things, and I'll probably add this in as one of the aspects. So we'll have fun with that.
When I look over my life and in this context, how you were speaking about this, I would say it's just this higher vibration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though you're not thinking about exactly what you were saying.
Right.
That you will just receive.
Right.
Without maybe realizing.
That's because it's innately happening, and that's unconsciously happening. But in order to become a master, you have to consciously make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't want to be in a state where we're just manifesting unknowingly, unconsciously. We want to be conscious of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to be conscious of what we're creating.
But I guess when this happens, like when you don't realize, you can maybe receive good things, but also some low shit that you don't want.
Because remember, we're in a state of manifesting every second of the day, in a state of knowing.
Yeah.
And that's what you know. Mm-hmm. You know this and you know that. Yeah. And so you manifest this and you manifest that. Yeah. Yeah. So that's true. Very true. All right. So next page we're going into is calling in the energies. Now this is something I'm gonna read through this very quickly, and then I'm gonna talk about it if you guys have any questions, because there's kind of like a 6-step program or how to do this very easily. And the whole thing about calling in energies, when we're talking about energies, we're talking about spirits. Spirits, deities, jinn, ancestors, angels, archangels, ascended masters. So the whole gauntlet. When you open that door of calling in spirits, you look like a beacon of light. And it's in the darkness. Okay? So everything comes to you. And everything wants to help because so many other energies, spirits want to have the human experience. So you got to understand that these spirits want to help you because they want to embody you. It means they want to take you over. It means they want to live through your life so they can get the human experience. We don't understand what we are in the spirit world. We don't even know the power that we have. These beings want to work for us because they want to experience what we experience. So you got to make sure you align yourself with the right ones. That's why I said, do not do this until you speak with me, okay? You're warned, period. That's all I'm going to say.
Making us all curious.
It's curious is good, so curious to call me. And we can talk because I can tap you into your spirits and then you can call them. And that's fine. But I can't do that tonight. That's too much. It's a long time, okay? I know y'all would love if I did it.
Yeah.
And I would love to do it, but I don't have all night. All right, so calling in the energies, calling in the spirits. So as human beings, we have the ability to call upon spirits. And we have the dominion in this dimension because we are supreme as human beings. Other spirits, like I said, they want to come in and experience what we experience because we have something called free will. A lot of spirits don't have that. They would do anything for that. So just remember that. So when you're calling in spirits, this is how you do it. 6 simple steps, okay? The first thing is you set your intention and you clear your energy, okay? We've gone over those things. Set your intention and clear your energy. Who do you want to call? What do you want to call? And what is the intention of this calling? This, and some people call it a conjuring. Because that's what it is. You're calling in the spirit. Okay, what is the intention? You want to make sure you set that and be very clear on that. The second is you want to decide what spirit you should call upon. Ancestors, spirit guides, archangels, angels, deities, elements, ascended masters, etc. So you want to figure out what you want to call, who you want to call. Also jinn or something else you can call. That's a whole nother aspect of an entity that lives on this earth. So what do you want to call in? Certain things are going to work with you a lot easier. Certain things are going to demand a payment. Certain things are going to do it because of the high frequency that you are, but we're all high frequency beings. So we're going to only be calling higher frequency beings. However, a lower frequency being will come in and say, I'll help you because they want something in return. But you have dominion. No, I don't want to deal with you. So you deal with what you want to deal with. You are always in power. So
I have one well, actually 2 questions. You only ask one at a time, right?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. And my second question is, because you have talked about you need to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
How is that?
Let me get to this and then you can ask me questions. Because if I get into that, that's going to take me well off of what I'm just trying to get into. Yeah. Because that's a whole nother class. Okay. But I'll answer it very simply. All right, so we're going to start with this. And in order to do this, we're going to set the clear intention first. Clear your energy, set the intention. Then you want to decide who you want to call in. What do you want to call in? What being do you want to call in? Do you want to call in the ancestors, the spirit guides, the angels, the archangels, the ascended masters, the deities, or the elements? Because the elements are very powerful as well. So we can tap into those. So we decide that. Third, you're going to create a circle of protection around you. So we don't do anything else. We don't talk about no spirits. We don't call them in. We don't do anything until we put that protection around us. There is a circle that you draw around yourself physically because you guys are not at that level to mentally do it. You physically create a circle around you, and you can create the circle usually with salt, okay? And salt keeps everything out. It does not allow anything to come into that circle. When you step into the circle and you start and you call in the being, you open a door and you are susceptible to any and everything, okay? Once you step into that circle and you call that being, you're open to everything. If you step outside of that circle before that being stops doing its bidding, you are susceptible to everything. The only thing that keeps you safe is standing inside that circle, okay? So, what do? Decide the ancestor, the deity, the jinn, the element, the energy that you want to bring in. Next thing you do, immediately draw a circle around you. Okay? Then you invoke the being. All right? Once you invoke the being, you tell the being to do the work for you, do the bidding. Remember, people are like, well, if I want something this big, it's going to take years to do. Am I going to stay in the circle for years? No. Remember, spirit does not know time at all. So it might take 1,000,000 years for us, might take a millisecond for it. You call the being in. Once you call the being in, you have them do their work and their bidding. Once they do it, you bring them back to you. Do not let them in that circle. Tell them thank you and go back. You send them back. And you do not do it, oh, it's beautiful beings, even the benevolent ones. Thank you. Go back. Okay? I ain't playing. You can't play. Why? Because everything has a duality. So that benevolent being has a dark side as well. Okay? Everything has a duality. Just remember that. In that duality, and that benevolent being, remember the angels fell. Why they fall? Because of temptation. Every energy wants what you got. So don't corrupt no high level being. All right. Send it back. And once you send the being back, at that point, you give thanks while you're still in the circle when the work is done. You do not leave that circle until the work is done, until you've sent them back. Remember, they can move mountains in milliseconds. Period. What happens above happens below. What's inside is outside. I keep saying it. What's outside is inside. All right? They're above. They bring it to the below. So it might not manifest into your life in a few days, a few weeks, a few months, or a year or so, but it's going to manifest because they've done the work. All right? You got to be in the knowing of that. Give thanks for the work being done. Ground yourself while you're in the circle. Then you can step outside the circle. And then say, allow it to be so, and so it is. That completes everything. And you're safe. Okay? Now, how do you call the beings in? I do them several different ways. I'll speak a different language. I'll speak ancient Hebrew. I'll speak a light language. And I will call the being by their name. So guess what? You get to learn beings' names. I'm going to leave it at that. Don't go on the internet researching names. Okay? And I know y'all curious people. Don't do it. I'm telling you. Because all those beings are not benevolent. And some of them will say they're benevolent just so they can be used to come in and work, and you got to pay them back. Do not go on the internet looking for these names. Call me. I will be glad to give you your names of God. I will be glad to give you the spirits and angels that are working with you. I will be glad to do that.
Just so I understand correctly, because English is my second language.
Mm-hmm.
You use a word that I have never ever heard before.
Okay.
When you describe the spirit, that they are, what did you say?
Benevolent?
Yes.
Benevolent means beautiful spirits.
Okay.
Benevolent beings.
Okay.
High level beings.
Okay. Okay.
So don't make a benevolent being fall, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
From its own temptation.
Okay.
It's a possibility.
Wow.
All right. There's only one absolute, and that's God.
Yeah.
Remember that. Okay. All right. So the question you asked me, go ahead and ask me. You're asking about.
Oh yeah, about when you are working on in low vibration, or you get a spirit in that is a lower, not high vibration, that you need to pay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what happens is, when you're working with lower vibrational spirits, we call them the lower. The lower means low vibrational spirit. Benevolent means high vibrational spirit. So when you work with the lower requires payment. Payment of something from you. Could be a sacrifice of blood. It could be a sacrifice of your life, your children's life, your parents' life. It could be a sacrifice of anything, because the lower want what it wants depending on the task that you send it on. Okay? And now, there are people that work the dark arts, and they learn how to chain them up and use these things, and they send them out and bring them back, and they chain them up and they're slaves. If that thing ever gets loose, you better watch out, Because just think about it, if you were a slave and somebody made you do everything you didn't want to do, what you going to do when you get free? Right. And that's sometimes what happens. So the lower energy, they demand something. That's why I say don't even use them. Okay? And there are mid-level spirits that you can call upon that will work for you. Those mid-level spirits can be called, but then they want a piece of your experience. So that's like, let me just kind of enter into you for a minute and experience. And it can start off really good, and then they can say, I ain't leaving.
Yeah.
Now you got an issue. And if you do it, and I told you don't do it, and you come to me to do it, I'm going to tax you like crazy, get it up out you. I'm just telling you.
I'd rather pay that than pay them back.
Exactly. But my thing is just don't even let them in.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, I wouldn't tax you like crazy. I help you out, but I look at your side eye because it's like you've been warned that you did it anyway. So you might need to get this experience of whatever you did anyway. So anyway, but yes, lower energies want payment.
And awful payments, obviously.
Well, yeah, but I mean they don't necessarily consider it awful because I gave you what you wanted. It's an exchange. You asked for it, I gave it to you, so you got to pay for it. Ain't nothing in life for free. Even in the spirit world. Even when you're dealing with the benevolent beings, benevolent beings, they, and yes, that's true, Angela. There's nothing to play with. And that's why I'm saying do not do this. And that's why I didn't say the ritual to give you to call them, because I don't want nobody messing up. You being Curious George around here, and then I got to come get you. Because I got to take responsibility for giving you that information. So therefore, this is kind of brief, but it is information that's key. And there's a ritual that goes with that, which is with step 3. But you got to come individually and get that. And that comes with a good time of training before I turn you loose on that one. But anyway, I get into talking about that anyway for a long time, because I'll teach you I'll step in the circle with you and call them with you, and you get to experience it with me, so you get a better understanding and you know what you're dealing with. So to answer your question, the lower beings, they want the payment. And then you have mid-level beings that will just work. They're neither good nor bad. They're just, hey, I'll do the work, but they want to get something in return. So you can work a deal with them if you want to. I wouldn't do it. You know, there's certain spiritual things that I've worked with before that are calling certain spirits in, angels in, but they're in between. You know, they'll do anything. You know, they'll help somebody live and they'll help kill somebody. And they're workers. Yeah, whatever the job is. You know, workers for hire. So spirits for hire. So you just got to be aware of what you're doing. When you're tapping into this, there's a lot of things. And people say, well, what about these names? And what about that? You know, who are they? Think about the earth. How many individual people are on this earth?
Billions.
Multiply that times 100.
Yeah,
That's the spiritual realm. The start of it. So it's that many of them out there. Okay? That's a lot. It's a whole lot. So they're not like 10, 15, 20 high-level beings and that's it. You got your higher level frequency beings, the archangels, the deities. They're there, but you have billions, trillions of energies that are out there that work.
So
we won't even tap into the jinn, because the jinn is a whole nother entity.
Spirits?
No, they're not spirits. Jinn are jinn. There's jinn, there's spirits, and there's men. Men are made from clay, angels from light, jinn from fire. And they're on this earth.
Oh wow.
They are on this earth. So, and they will work for you, but jinns are known for demonic stuff because they're usually 50% of them are dark energy and 50% of them help the human beings.
And when you say they are here on Earth, are they as spirits then, or through humans?
No, they're an own entity.
Okay.
So they're just jinns.
They're jinns. Yeah.
Okay.
Just like you're a human being,
Like animals?
Yes.
there's a jinn,
Oh, wow.
and then there's a spirit. There's angels.
Mm-hmm.
Jinn is a jinn. They're made from smokeless fire.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So everything that we see in the movies is true.
A lot of it is, yes.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, a lot of it is. All right. So again, we want to know what you're calling in. So that's just kind of an energy, an aspect for you to understand and know that, hey, they're out there. These things are available to us. Learning how to use them, and when we talk about becoming a magi or magician, learning how to use these different energies and manifesting the power to control them is part of becoming a magician, a master. Okay, and everybody can do it if you just want to. It just takes practice. Okay, the next factor we're going to go into. Yeah, what's the question? Go ahead.
For archangels, do you have to worry about the whole circle of protection?
With archangels, not really, but okay, let me back it up. To answer your question, let me just blanket the statement to make it simple and make it safe. Yes, you do have to put yourself in the circle when you call the archangels. This is why. The circle protects you from what else comes in with the archangel. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the archangel you don't have to worry about. But when you open the door to call the archangel, the door opens. So what comes with that archangel? That's what you want to be safe from. Okay?
This is so interesting.
What about for like meditating? Because I'll call on Archangel Michael sometimes when I'm meditating and I'm doing like a clearing.
Oh yeah, well, meditation and calling upon archangels, that is a completely different aspect. We're talking about conjuring. We're talking about calling a specific spirit in to do a specific job for you. When you're looking at meditation, meditation is just opening the door for you to bring the energy in an archangel to protect you, to guide you, to help you through your meditation and keep everything safe, to kind of put a blanket over you. When we're talking about calling in the energy for manifestation, we're literally calling that specific energy in to do our bidding. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's not for your help and your love. We're calling you in to do a job. It's like, okay, Archangel Michael, I need you to go take out this demon. And so when you do that, then you want to make sure you put yourself in a circle of protection, because when you call Archangel Michael in to take out that demon, trust me, a demon's going to have some energies with it, and it might try to jump into you while you're calling Archangel Michael to protect you. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's you're opening the door.
So
And then,
how do you know when they're gone?
who's gone?
The spirits.
Good question. How do you know when they're gone? You send them away. It's like when somebody comes to your house and they finish at your house and you close the door behind them because they finished doing what they got to do, they go. Remember, you're calling them in. You
Yeah.
tell them to do a job.
Okay.
When they come back and say the job is done, send them back. You are all in control. That's why I said don't call them. Because if you got to ask that question,
Yeah.
don't call them. Right. Yeah. Right.
Like, thank you.
Yeah. If you got to ask those questions, then you're not ready to call them.
Yeah, I ain't.
Because it's
No, Arlene. I was just making sure.
yeah. So, but when you call the angels in, or when you call the energies in, and you ask them to do the work, they will come back to you, and when they return to you, they tell you the work is done. Okay? Because you're specific. Go do this and return when it's finished.
Okay. See,
That's why I didn't tell you all that stuff, because I don't want you calling.
What do you? Don't tell me.
Right. Well, I'm going to tell you, you don't know how to call them. That's the key thing. Because you can just say, no, that's not going to work.
No.
There's a specific way to do it.
It's deeper than that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm not going to tell you that.
Dang, I've been all off.
Yeah, you've been on. I'm not gonna tell you. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you how to do it. that would be very irresponsible of me.
No,
I'm not gonna tell you how.
Because I called on them before, and it was hard to get rid of them.
Yeah, and that was a mistake. And there's a specific way to call them that will come in and they will work. And there is no, would they did this? How did? No, it's done. It's done. Yeah.
Wow.
It's just enough for me to know that some bad shit can come through as
Oh,
well. So
yes.
I would not do that
Yeah,
alone
yeah,
on my
yeah.
own.
And trust me, whatever you call in to help you came in, but something came with it.
Yes.
That's why I say if you didn't put that
that's
circle of
enough
protection
for me
around
to
it.
just,
And it's hard to get rid of it.
Oh yeah, it is.
yeah, especially if you don't know how.
Yeah. So Al, did I answer your question? Okay. Make sure I got you good.
And I don't know how.
All right, cool. So then the next slide is about detachment. The law of detachment. We really broke this down last time, and everything we've been talking about today has been detachment. How do we detach? You know, it's like there's rules about how to detach, what it is in here, and it's very straightforward. But everything we've talked about during this whole presentation has been detachment. It's detaching from what your worldly value or desire is and putting on the development of your soul, your inner soul. So when you develop your inner soul, then you forget completely about everything exterior that you're asking for, but the seed was already planted. And so as that seed is planted from the inside, it grows and appears on the outside. I say it again, what's inside is outside, okay? So it's gonna always be that way. So I'm gonna read over these for law of detachment. And if anybody has any questions, please just feel free to ask because this is a key aspect to manifestation for this new year. It's key. Detaching. First, I'm going to start with this. We're in a year or in a time of Aquarius. The time of Aquarius means we're in a state of I know. So therefore, I believe. That means kind of know, but not really know, but it's possible. That was Pisces. That's what we just left at. So detachment was very hard because naturally we're in a state of I believe and not I know. We're now in a state of I know. The energy is completely different. The energy is set up so that we are in a state of knowing that everything is fine, okay? We're in a complete state of knowing everything is fine. Everything is okay. Everything is complete. We're now moving to innately just knowing versus believing. So detachment will become easy over the next few months if you allow it to become easy. So the law of detachment. If you lose everything that is of meaning to you and you have to start all over again with nothing, you're going to do it fearlessly and build everything over again. Being okay with that is detachment, okay? That is a pure definition of detachment. Detachment helps you find the meaning within. Everything we've talked about tonight has been within. Because what's within is without. What's inside is outside. So if we focus on what's inside, everything is going to be fine. That is detachment. Focus on what's inside. Knowing that no matter what, all will be okay. That is detachment. That is a knowing that all is okay. When we're in the energy of believing, it's hard to know. Because there's that little window of doubt. It's persistent. And that's that fear and faith can't habitat in the same space. So you bounce back and forth. You don't like this with it.
Yeah.
It's one or the other, one or the other, one or the other, one or the other. And then you keep bouncing back and forth to the point where you don't know what you're doing and it moves so fast and it goes at such a high frequency of vibration that you think they're the same.
Yeah, emotions all over the place.
Right. So we have to slow it down. Yep. So detachment is removing yourself from the desire. How do we remove ourselves from the desire? We focus on building our inner temple. And the inner temple is already knowing what we want outside, and that seed is inside of us, and that inner temple grows the seed to flourishing, and it shows up outside. Okay? Because what's inside is outside. Okay? I said it a million times already. All right, so
You're programming us.
exactly.
Yeah.
You got it. It's affirmation.
Yeah.
What's inside is outside. There we go. All right, so now we know we're building the inside. So all this stuff, you're getting a lot of little jewels tonight. Wisdom of uncertainty. Separation breeds freedom. So the wisdom of uncertainty and separation breeds freedom. So when we separate from an attached something, we're free. We don't have an anchor tied to us to keep us in one spot. Separation breeds freedom. Okay? So the wisdom of uncertainty, that is knowing that is what uncertain, that is uncertain is also certain. Because what's inside is outside. Knowing, wisdom of uncertainty means you know what you don't know is what you already know. I know that's confusing.
Yes, don't do it.
I know.
If you add, but it's gonna be, but
Yeah,
it's gonna be
it's the
okay.
wisdom of uncertainty. Wisdom means I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wisdom is a knowing. Wisdom means I've taken knowledge and I've implemented it to the point where I know it.
Like if you're uncertain about a financial situation, but you aren't breaking yourself down about it because you know that everything is
It's okay.
gonna be
Yeah.
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that what
That's the
that-
wisdom of uncertainty. So the
Okay.
wisdom I know about uncertainty is that nothing's uncertain
Right.
because
You know
I
it's
believe in
gonna be
God.
You know it's gonna be
Because what's
okay.
inside,
Yeah.
It's
I
outside.
know it's gonna be okay.
Right.
So it's gonna be.
so it's going to be
It's gonna show.
because the financial issue on the outside is outside.
It's outside.
So then there's a question on the inside that created the question on the outside.
I see.
That's the wisdom of uncertainty.
Because you know it. So
Right.
it's not, okay.
So that's the wisdom of not knowing, or being uncertain rather. The wisdom of uncertainty. Yeah, wisdom of uncertainty. That's powerful. You just gotta. Most people can't grasp that one, but you guys are high level beings, so everybody's good. All right. So detachment removes the energy of attachment, which is based on fear and insecurity. Detachment removes the energy of attachment, which is based on fear and insecurity. Okay. That's powerful.
Yes.
Very.
Okay.
That's
Can you say it
powerful.
one more
Yes, I was
time,
gonna-
please?
Yeah.
Can you?
Hmm.
Can you say it?
Sure can. Detachment removes the energy of attachment, which is fear and insecurity. So anytime you're attached to something, it's based upon fear and insecurities. Okay? Fear and insecurities. That's what creates the attachments. Oh, I can't let this go. I got to be with this man because I can never find love again. That is your fear and insecurity of not having something. As soon as you detach from that, you come into that knowing that all is okay and everything you wanted, that love, that relationship, it reappears.
Just something that kind of resonated with me that I just thought about. My sister was freaking out about, like, oh, I'll never find the same man to treat me like for whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother was like, how do you know? You've never seen this day before.
Right. And then you got to think about it is, if you lost a man that was treating you a certain kind of way, you probably don't want that anyway, because you're going to find the same man that's going to treat you the same way, will just leave you.
Yeah.
You forgot that part.
Exactly. You know, it. Oh, I almost said something.
But it's
So, yeah, but yeah, that south side almost came out of it. But I kept it. I held it. But yeah, it's like, you know, there's people always want to be hooked in, and I gotta have this. I'm never gonna get this. I'm never gonna get this again. Well, the thing is, you don't want it again because what you got you the way you are right now. You want something different.
Yes, definitely.
That's right.
You want something different that's gonna give you a different result. Exactly. You want something better. So yeah, that's what we forget in our own minds. We forget that we got dominion, we got power. We can create this because what we create is inside is outside. Exactly. So
I
I tell you.
experienced this for the first time very obviously today.
Mhm.
That this removes the energy of attachment, which is based on fear and insecurity. And it was linked to that everything is like it's supposed to be and everything is gonna be okay.
That's detachment.
Yeah, and it's very interesting being here tonight when this happened today and we are talking about this. It's like a confirmation too. And the feeling is like what you mentioned earlier and we talked about earlier, it's hard to put the finger on it.
Yeah.
it's just peaceful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's so powerful. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
You just stop for a moment and like, wow.
Yeah. It's detachment is powerful. When you can tap into it and understand, it's powerful. Yeah. All right. So, detachment, the law of detachment, knowing that security is an illusion. Okay. Security is an illusion. He says it's deep. I mean, it's just you're getting some good stuff. Security is an illusion. What is secure? You know, a lot of people have these jobs, corporate jobs. Everything is, I'm secure. No, you're not secure.
Yeah,
It's an illusion.
Nothing.
The only security you have is in yourself and the Most High.
Yeah, that's right.
Because what's inside
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, all right. So, it's detachment is allowing yourself to just forget the goal. It's the keys to manifestation. With detachment, you have the freedom to create. And it's because you're free. You're not attached to anything. Attachment is an anchor. It's holding you into something. It's based on fear and insecurities. So we don't have fears and insecurities. You're free. So those are the keys to manifestation. It's detachment. Forget that you set the goal is another thing with detachment. Just forgetting. And the way we forget is we literally start working so much on ourselves on the inside, and we grow and cultivate that seed. Because what's inside is what's outside. And then we cultivate that seed, but the seed has been planted from the outside of what we desire, what we want. We've already said what we want, but then we forget about what we want and we start working on ourselves so much that the inner parts of us cultivate that seed and grow it, and it just shows up on the outside. Because what's inside is outside. I tell you, I'm going to say it a whole bunch. Y'all don't get it. It's going to be in there by the end of the night. If the conditional is true, and the hypothesis is true, then the conclusion is true. So basically that's just saying everything about the goal that you set is based upon a condition. So if the condition is true, the hypotheses of how the ending is going to be true, and then the conclusion is going to be true. So everything has to be true to itself. And when you detach from that truth, then allow yourself to bring it into your reality. So now we are in a place where we can use the Aquarian energy to stay in the state of knowing. And that's a big difference from the last time that we did this class. We were not in the Aquarian period. So now we're in a state of I know. So we got to live there. Believe it. We are now fifth dimensional beings. We are fifth dimensional beings. So we have to cultivate that. As a fifth dimensional being, what's inside is out, and what's outside now in the fifth dimension is now inside. So all of our dreams are now inside. So we're cultivating on both sides now. Okay. It's a beautiful time. Beautiful time. All right. So then we go to the next page, which is the manifestation ritual. All right. It's very simple. I'm gonna go over this, and this is something you all can practice. But you all got enough practice because we've been saying and talking about so much. It is crazy because what's inside is what's outside. Exactly. All right, so manifestation ritual. Clear your energy. Again, this is just a simple thing to do, but you all are already doing it. If everybody has been on this call in this room with me, you have no idea what I've been doing. Don't tell anybody. All right, so the manifestation ritual. Clear your energy. Short meditation to clear and to set the vibration. You're going to tap into a different version of yourself, or you're going to call on energy to help. Now, the energies I want you all to call on are your ancestors so that you can do easily. So tap into another version of yourself. Remember, we said go into a little meditative state, go into the soul, let the soul go into the spirit, let the spirit go into the mono then shows you the different sets of souls. Find the one that you was digging, jump into it, stay with it, chill, get to know it, ask for permission to take the energy back. It might even come back with you. Come back, you're in a new vibrational state. Set the goal that you've written down, written or stated, set it. Make sure it's measurable. Make sure it's aligned with your higher self. That's ecological. Accept the responsibility that you are completely in charge. Even if you go in and got help or solicited the help from another version of yourself, or even if you solicit the help of your ancestors, you're still responsible. Okay? Keep yourself in that mindset. Accept the responsibility. Then be open to the various paths of manifestation. How do you do that? Detach. Everything is already set. It's detached. You detach by doing what? Working on the inner self. Because what's inside is outside. Okay? So, very simple. So the detachment allows you to create and then enjoy the process. Enjoy this process. Have fun with it. Okay? Have complete fun with what you're doing, because this is a lot of fun. Manifestation is a lot of fun. I love teaching this because once you get it and it starts rolling for you, you can't believe life. You can't believe it. You're literally like, I just really don't. How is it this easy? It's because you're taking the time to work on the inside. And I make it really fun and sound really great because it is. But some of us have more work to do on ourselves on the inside, you know. But it can be done. It can be done quickly. Again, when we start to tap into our own spirit doesn't know time, space, or distance. So our own spirit can tap into something much higher and much faster if we allow it. We just gotta allow it. Surrender. Let that ego go. Let that attachment go. That ego is attachment. Let it go. Because that makes you free. You know, let those insecurities and fears go. And and if you have a family of people around you, have your family call you out when you're displaying insecurities or fears. It might hurt, and you might feel like somebody just smacked you across the jaw. But the more people tell you that, the more you become aware of it in the situation you're doing it, and you start to create a new paradigm of thought, and you don't go into those states of insecurities and fears anymore. You don't go into them. Means you're willing to listen. You're open, and then you start to say, I'm not even going to be in this insecurity and fear state because I already know I'm going there. But that comes from people helping you.
I recently just started to ask for the help from my guides. No matter what I want or desire, just direct me into the path that is for my highest good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No matter what I want.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you do that, that's surrendering. That's submitting.
Yeah. Because I trust that they have the best intentions.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because sometimes that egoic self gets involved
I'm trying to control.
and try to control it, and then we don't get what we really want.
Okay, so when it manifests, this needs to happen, and that's supposed to happen.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Now
That's
I get to-
right. That's not allowing.
The how's none of your business.
Yeah. The how is none of your business. Because when we work on what's inside, shows what's outside. Exactly. Because whatever you want is so beautiful on the outside, when it's on the inside, it's got to match.
Yeah.
It's got to match. All right, cool. So that was the last slide. So I'll leave you with these quotes. It's time to take control of your life. Manifest what you desire through your thoughts and your actions. And on this, because what's inside is what's outside. So that is your thoughts and that is your actions. See, you got it, Bakar.
Yes.
Told
Like
you.
a long time ago.
Yeah. So again, it's time to take control.
Yeah.
And how do we take control?
Yes,
Yeah. We take control by knowing what's inside is outside. So therefore, we're going to create the best that we possibly can create on the inside because we want the best we can possibly have on the outside. But we take control by creating what's on the inside and not what's on the outside. So forget about outside, focus on the inside. Okay. So the key to manifestation is high vibration, clear and measurable intent, help from above, detachment, and most of all, knowing. So I want you to leave with you those quotes. Help from above. So we got to realize it's all about help from above. Because what's above is below. What's inside is what's outside.
I have
Sure thing. What's the question?
In regards to maintaining that high vibration, and of course, maintaining the awareness that you're in control of it. If you're around other people who don't necessarily
believe what you believe.
Yes.
Guess what? What's inside is what's outside. So right now, what's inside of you is attracting those people to you. As you change what's inside, those people will fall off from your life, including family.
I was gonna ask him, like,
you're only related by blood and focusing to by blood, and a lot of times that negativity that they're showing you is because it's something that's inside of you that needs to be cleansed, and when you cleanse it, that aspect of them disappears, and
so
they
they
become
can
new
either
people.
raise up to your vibration.
Because what's inside is what's outside all the time.
Oh man.
So if your vibration raises up, they got to raise up, and if they got to be in your space, sometimes they're raising up. It's just they're there as a placeholder to remind you of something you need to work on, and when you work on it and heal it, then that aspect of them to remind you of that disappears, and they become different people. That's how we work together as a soul family in the soul unit. And sometimes it's difficult things that we have to deal with, but the good, the bad, and the ugly, it's all part of our growth process. Those are the shadows. Sometimes. Sometimes. Yeah. Well, any other questions for me? Anybody online? Anybody that's here? I want to thank all you guys for coming out. How about Shleima? This has been a beautiful class and with beautiful people, and I thank you all.
Thank you.